Please video like and subscribe this channel. I had always considered myself ordinary, a human engineer barely scraping by in the vast galaxy. I worked on freighters, shuttlecraft, and occasionally alien vessels that required maintenance I could manage with some luck and ingenuity. Nothing extraordinary. Nothing legendary. Until the day the alien princess asked me for protection, and the galaxy would never be the same. Beginning, the request. The mission seemed simple: escort Princess Elira of the Varelian Empire during her visit to the neutral conclave. Intelligence reports suggested possible threats: rogue factions, bounty hunters, and political assassins, but her personal guard had been stretched thin across other engagements. That was where I came in. I was briefed quickly aboard the palace cruiser. "Human," a royal aide said, "your task is straightforward. Protect the princess at all costs. Do not fail." I swallowed, nodding, trying to hide my nervousness. I was trained in engineering, not combat. My closest encounter with danger involved sparks from overloaded circuits. But before I could voice my doubts, Princess Elira entered the room. She was radiant. Her iridescent skin shimmered with the light of the room, her multifaceted eyes reflecting colors I couldn't name. "Human," she said, her voice melodic but commanding, "can you defend me?" The question hit me like a bolt. Defend her? Me? I was barely capable of defending myself against a rogue power conduit. I opened my mouth to protest, but she continued, her gaze steady, unwavering. "I trust you," she said simply. "Can you protect me?" Somehow, in that instant, I realized that refusal wasn't an option. The entire Varelian Empire, the political balance of dozens of systems, rested, at least partially, on my actions. Middle. The journey begins. The neutral conclave was located on Cerulia Prime, a planet of swirling blue oceans and floating landmasses tethered to each other by energy bridges. Elira's cruiser descended slowly, escorted by a minimal fleet. I had spent hours studying her ship schematics, trying to identify every potential weak point, every emergency protocol. It didn't take long for danger to find us. Rogue fighters from the Draka Syndicate, mercenaries known for ambushing high-value targets, intercepted our fleet mid-approach. "Human," Elira said, pointing to the viewport as streaks of missiles tore through the atmosphere, "you need to act." I froze for half a second too long. Then, instinct took over. Years of tinkering with starships, rerouting power, and improvising repairs suddenly became something else: strategy and combat. I guided the cruiser through evasive maneuvers, rerouted shields to vulnerable points, and manually targeted incoming missiles for interception. The princess watched, astonished, as I maneuvered with precision no one would have expected from a mere human. "You're stronger than you look," she said, her voice a mixture of awe and amusement. I laughed nervously. "I'm lucky," I muttered. But deep down, I knew this was more than luck. I was discovering a part of myself I had never used before, capability beyond expectation. Middle. Confrontation and revelation. The battle continued as we neared the conclave. Draka fighters swarmed us, energy beams slicing through the void, their missiles tearing small craters in the planet's upper atmosphere. Elira remained calm, issuing commands to her aides while keeping her focus on me. "Human," she called over the comm, "we can't reach the conclave alive if you don't intervene." I gritted my teeth and activated the cruiser's experimental pulse cannons, devices I had once only studied theoretically. Energy arcs erupted from the ship, sending enemy fighters spinning into debris. Each precise strike was calculated, controlled, and devastating. It was in that moment Elira realized the truth. I wasn't just human, I was a force. I was something her world had never accounted for. "You," she began, her voice catching in disbelief, "you are incredible." I didn't answer. I was too focused. One by one, The Draka ships were neutralized, their assault dismantled by human ingenuity and courage combined with the ship's alien technology. By the time we reached the Conclave's protective orbit, the attackers were either fleeing or destroyed. Elira turned to me, eyes wide. "I underestimated you," she admitted. "I had no idea of your strength." I shrugged, trying to play it off. "Guess you won't make that mistake again," I said, feeling a swell of pride that I hadn't known I could feel. Building trust. Once at the Conclave, Elira and I worked to negotiate peace and ensure her safety. She introduced me to high-ranking delegates from dozens of alien civilizations, each more skeptical than the last. "This human," one counselor asked, glancing at me sideways. "Can he truly protect her?" I let Elira answer. She didn't need words. Her gaze alone conveyed trust, respect, and something more intimate, a recognition that I had proven myself capable of handling threats far beyond my species' typical limits. During private moments, Elira and I spoke quietly. "I didn't expect you to be like this," she admitted. "Calm, strong, precise. I've seen many defenders, warriors trained since birth, but none like you." "I never trained to be a warrior," I said honestly. "I just survive. I adapt." "Then perhaps," she said softly, "that is exactly what makes you formidable. You are not constrained by tradition, by expectations. You see possibilities where others see limits." Her words struck me. I had spent my life undervaluing my own abilities, seeing myself as ordinary, fragile, and replaceable. Yet here, in the presence of an alien princess and a galaxy watching, I realized the truth. I was extraordinary not by species, but by courage and adaptability. Ending, victory and respect. The final challenge came when a hidden faction of the Draka Syndicate attempted a coup during Elira's address at the Conclave. Assassin drones infiltrated the chambers, and chaos erupted. "Human," Elira whispered urgently, "can you?" I didn't wait for her to finish. Years of improvisation, tactical thinking, and quick decision-making fused in a single moment. I intercepted drones mid-flight, dismantled energy traps, and protected Elira with a combination of shield manipulation and sheer physical agility I had never realized I possessed. By the time the Council's security forces regained control, Elira was safe. The conspirators were captured or neutralized. Silence fell over the assembly, followed by awe and whispers of admiration. Elira approached me, her eyes shining with a mix of relief and respect. "You have shown the galaxy your power," she said. "Not just strength, but courage, intellect, and heart." "I'm just human," I said, though I knew it was no longer entirely true. She smiled, shaking her head. "No. You are more than that. You are a force they will remember. And I trust you with everything." She had asked for protection, and I had risen to a level even she had not anticipated. The galaxy had witnessed it, and perhaps, the galaxy would never underestimate a human again. I realized then that courage isn't measured by size or species. It's measured by action, by heart, and by the willingness to rise to a challenge when all odds seem stacked against you. And as Elira's hand lightly rested on my arm, I understood one final truth. Sometimes, a single request can reveal a strength you didn't know you had and change the course of a galaxy forever.